Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Growth Experiment Podcast with your boy Mom 92. What's up? What's up? I know it's been a minute, y'all. Stash been trying to get me, consistent. I gotta stay consistent. Got to get these videos out. And this is gonna be released the same day that it's recorded. So, Stash, man, there's a couple things that I want to get into today, man, because I seen some stuff. I seen some reviews. Suriku 16. He put a review on Steam about Street Fighter 6. Now this is back in June 2nd. Right? The game came out, right? June 2nd, right? June 2nd. That's when the game came out. He says, now this is him. He says, "This game is amazing. This is a content-rich fighting game that will be sure to leave the casual and competitive players alike pleased." Right? So time has gone on, and I had to ask him. I said, "Hey man, do you still feel the same way?" And he said, "Man, I just put that down because I wanted to get the game more traction, right? But I want to dive into this because I think that we all thought, in the very beginning at least, Street Fighter 6 is an amazing game, right?
Yes.
And when I say amazing, I mean not a lot of flaws. Pretty much we're like, man, it's just, oh my God, this is $1 million, man. It's gonna be easy because I love this game, right?" Time goes on, the meta starts developing, and you see a lot of gripes with the game, man. Like me personally, I got a couple gripes with the game, and I'm just like, because it doesn't seem like what was strong before is strong now, right? And I was telling you earlier that could be, man, just stuck in your old ways or just not willing to. Because I mean, it's kind of like when you think of fundamentals and stuff, you think that these aspects are always going to be around. So I'm good to use this and this and this and this. But some of that stuff, man, it's looking like it's starting to get dwindled down or leveled out. We can say that, right? Where people can do, man, I'm just gonna use mechanics, freak fundamentals, and then just go crazy. And y'all on the same level now all of a sudden, right? Results wise, obviously, So yeah, so I mean, what do you think about that? Like, well, first of all, we get into the patch. We get into patches later, but
Okay.
as of the current state of the game, what are your thoughts?
I think it's in a good place.
Okay.
I think, I guess, kind of touching on the review, and like, oh, this game is amazing. I think one of the things that people really, really missed a lot during the Street Fighter V era was being able to express yourself with the character that you choose to play. It was like, man, if I pick this character, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. And it's kind of like, man, like that's annoying. But this game really does allow you to pick a character and play so many different styles with that character and still be effective. It's not like Noah doesn't play like Dual Kevin doesn't play like like you can just go through all these loops and it's like, man, they all play differently, but they're doing work. They don't play like Minna. Like all of the styles are different. And I think no matter what, to a degree, there's this refreshing feeling when you play it and you compare it to Street Fighter 5, even Street Fighter 4. I think Street Fighter 4 was its own little beast. It was, you could do the same thing, but now it's like, it feels like they took the best of so many Street Fighters and kind of put it into one. So it's kind of like cool. And now, because this game is coming out during an age where technology, like everything's at your fingertips. Oh man, how do I play Jury? Let me look at a guide. Or what's optimal with Jury? Let me look at, like you can just hop in Discord, hop on Twitter/X, whatever it is, and everything is right there. So people are like, it doesn't take long to look at this. Let me just go ahead and so you're seeing people do things at a higher level. Not saying that they're high level competitors, but they're doing better things without necessarily having the understanding that, hey, normally when you saw somebody do this, it's because they were just way up here compared to everybody else. Now you got people who are like gold, who are doing these setups that are like just nasty, and you're like, dang, that that's pretty cool that you know how to do it. Um, but I think in terms of like looking at the other end of it, like where the frustrations start kicking in, I think it's like that with any fighting game. Once you get to a high level, you know what you're up against. And I think high level Street Fighter V was way easier at a high level because there was so much less to deal with. Now we got all this stuff to deal with, and it's like this game is kind of dry. I feel like even though there's all this stuff in the game, I'm so limited as to what I can do because this can happen, this can happen, this can happen, this can happen. I'm not,
Yeah,
and you
it's
don't
a
know what your
lot.
opponent's going to do. And your opponent really is like, well, if I don't do this, I'm not making it hard enough for him. I don't want to just throw away the round because I'm being predictable. So
Mhm.
then it's just like, it's like open world of nonsense.
And you got to think about it from that side too. You brought up something crazy. You got to think about it from that side. I never really thought about it from that side. When the opponent, because he's thinking that, man, this guy, man, he can anti-air, he can do this, he can do that. Time to go crazy. But it's kind of like we're forcing them to do that. I say, I ain't thinking like that. I ain't thinking about that. There's a reason he's doing it. Well, not everybody. Now, some people just they start around like that. but some people they do start. I notice they do start to get a little wild, and it's kind of like I just want to get the win. That's the mentality behind it. Like I don't care now. I'm about to just roll my face. You know what I mean?
Basically.
So,
Yeah.
Terrence said something else that we talked about. It was kind of like he was talking about how the game develops, things get slower, things get figured out and stuff like that. I said personally, I mean, I think that the game is going to be more figured out when it comes to getting it, some patches to fix a couple of things. We need a couple of fixes to be able to do some of the things that we're trying to do, right? Like let's say reversal. We'll use that as an example. Reversal is one of the obvious things that would come to mind when you're trying to get somebody off of you. But it just seems like it's a little too slow. You know what I mean? It's a little too slow to be as punishable as it is. And like some of the punishes. It's like, geez. And isn't it a punish counter? No,
Yes.
yeah, it's a punish counter.
If you block a reversal,
Yeah.
yeah, punish counter.
Jeez. Just thinking at the top of my head is like, oh my God. And some of these characters, you already know the type of damage they're doing without any meter. Right? So it's kind of like, I wouldn't mind that if we get a little bit faster, if I get more of a, this has to be guaranteed, more of a way to get out of these situations. Because, my opponent uses meter to create a lot of offense, but I need to be able to use my meter to get that up off me. But so I think the game will get better with patches. And another thing too, you gotta remember, man, it's always crazy for me to think about it, but it's not even been a year, bro. So it's kind of like
Tomorrow is half a year.
yeah, tomorrow's half a
Tomorrow
year.
is 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. You're right. Like it's not. Don't even. It's not. It hasn't been a year. It hasn't been half. It hasn't been half a
Half
year.
a year, yeah.
But it feels like we've been playing this game forever.
Forever, because there's so much that's going on. They really did put, even though it's on, like even though a lot of it is online, man. That's one thing about the competitive communities in general. That man, it's a lot of stuff going on, man. Front runner, like you can really, if you want to get good, it's the tools and the tournaments and the people, the players. It's all out there. It does feel like, man, it's been out for a minute, and because they've been pushing so much. When it comes to like Chipotle and stuff like that. I wish they would do more like that. I think they will, but anyway, yeah, they've been. It seems like it's been out longer, man, and so that just means that like we're not even a year in, so like we're not even done with the DLC. We're not even going to the next season until next year, probably like almost the middle, like almost next year. Then we get to finally see the new DLC. Like, it's a baby game, right? So we're playing this baby game. But of course, we want, obviously we're playing it every day, so we want it to be, a little more, But a lot is going to happen later on, so that's what we got to think about, And at the moment, like you said, I think the game is pretty good. It just has some stuff that you got to adapt to. I think it's more adaptation than anything, because we've seen players like Terrence, for example, start to come up when they start realizing more and more. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I mean, and everything works like Grand Todokai. You know, he plays a very slow style. Kakaru plays a slower style, you know, and it's working for these guys. So it's not impossible. You know, it's just one of those things that you got to be willing to.
Let me step in for a second.
But
Because you just said it's possible. I agree. But what's the similarity between those two characters?
yeah,
Or those two competitors? It's the character.
it's a character.
And I think the character is what determines the pace.
100%.
I don't think anyone can slow anything down in that game like JP. If you like a slow pace and you're not playing JP, chances are you're going to find a whole bunch of frustration somewhere whenever you're trying to grind the game out. But JP does it very well. So yes, I think Grand Todokai really, his understanding of the game actually I don't think is that impressive. But what he does whenever it's slow is very, very smart. It's very, very good. And it's because he's using JP's strengths strongly. And then Kakaru, I don't even know what to talk about when it comes to him. The dude, I don't think I've ever seen anybody that, like when he zones in, it just looks so nasty.
So good.
So, but yeah, I just, that's more, when you said that, I thought about the pace of it, but I actually give more credit to the character they picked, complementing their skill set than I do actually like being able to look at what they're doing and saying, hey, look, you can slow the game down. I don't think you can unless you're JP, period.
Yeah, even, and I guess you could put it like a little list, right? Because you would put Guile under that, right?
Guile and
Right.
Sim.
But obviously you'd be like JP, Guile. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because he can slow it down too, but it's not as good as JP's. We talked about that last night too, like with those portals and stuff. It's just like, you know, you have to respect this dude.
Yeah, and when you look at how Guile, that big gap, it's kind of like it's just saying Guile does slow it down better than anyone else in the game except for JP. But even when he slows it down, it looks so different than when
way
JP
different.
slows
Way
it down, and it's not the same game at all.
Way different. And then when you think about it, if you played JP, like you said, if you decide to play JP, right, you probably won't have as many issues with the game because you're able to slow the stuff down, hit a lot of this stuff, and get crazy rewarded for it. You get so many rewards. So like if you're not playing him, it's like, man, dang, JP's so cheap, this and that. But I feel like if you're playing him against all this crazy stuff, you're like, man, hey, this is what I need because he's both crazy. You know what I mean? You have nothing. There's nothing you can do when the portal's in the sky. Like you can't do anything sporadic. You know what I'm saying? Because he's gonna hit you. If the portal hits you, he gets so much, right? But I'm telling you, that's like a necessary evil to all this nonsense. So I don't know. So I don't know what they want to. I don't know what they're gonna do. I hope they don't destroy him. He definitely needs a nerf.
It's gonna say OD amnesia removed,
Bruh. It's gonna be crazy. I want to.
JP players are gonna be upset for sure. There's no way around it.
Of course, because it's just like, dang, especially all the practicing, which is another reason. Let's bring up the yearly patches, right? They do a patch a year, this and that. From a competitive standpoint, I'm with it. It's amazing. Like it's like, man, you get to practice your character. Don't worry about anything. You get to keep learning. Don't worry about anything. It's going to be the same thing as far as like frame data and stuff throughout the whole entire ration to get this $1 million. From a competitive standpoint, that's what it should be. The issue is a lot of players are, let's say, stuck to some characters. Like we'll use Snake Eyes Zangief, for example, right? He could easily pick somebody else and be nasty with him if he wanted to. But Zangief's the guy he wants to play, And obviously, if you're playing a character that's not as good as the other characters, you would hope there's a patch that comes in due time, right? But that's on us as competitors, I feel like. It is what it is. You gotta, either you really want the $1 million, you can still get the $1 million. Not saying you can't, but you're gonna have to be working. Or you could do what you gotta do and, this and that. But me personally, I like the yearly patch. You know what I mean? It's from a competitive standpoint. Now, I don't really like it when it comes to me playing online, getting bopped sometimes. I'm like, man, this needs to be nerfed. It ain't finna be nerfed to, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
2025.
Yeah, so it's like, But from a competitive standpoint, I think for $1 million, that is one of the best ways to do it. Yeah.
I don't mind the yearly patch either. I actually prefer it because whenever I played games like Killer Instinct or King of Fighters 14, it was one of those things where it's like, man, you play for 2 months, then something comes out that drastically changes your character, and then you're like, now I feel like I'm relearning. Like it's like I'm playing a brand new character sometimes. Like that's very, very frustrating because I feel like the characters that don't get touched as much, the people who stick with those characters, if they were playing them, they kind of have an advantage. Like, even if you made my character better in ways, all of that muscle memory is gone from what I'm doing. And even though they have to react, they have so much of their game plan that just remains the same. So it's kind of like, like from that standpoint. But then I also do feel like if there is a critical flaw in a game, it's important to get rid of it immediately. And I think part of the frustration with Street Fighter 6 is we don't know what it is. Like, when people do have complaints about Drive Rush, there's no direct answer to such and such. But what happens whenever you put in drive reversal? Like, you make it 4 frames faster and 3 frames less punishable. Let's say you do that, right? Cool. There's still those situations where it's kind of like, like it's gonna happen.
It's still gonna happen.
Going to be that situation where you're like, man, why is this in the game?
100%.
Can you think of one fighting game that you have ever played that you were like, I got bopped, the match was frustrating, but man, the design is wonderful and I'm just fine with it?
No.
Like, I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that unless it was genuinely a very, very casual player. And they're able to sit down and play the game and have fun and don't care about getting better to the point where they're, hey, I want to win a tournament or anything like that. It's just... So, I don't know. I just every fighting game I've ever played has had some garbage or nonsense in it, and I feel like you pick your poison. But it's everywhere, and Capcom has shown from the end of Street Fighter V to where we are now that, you know what, we can support a game and we can address issues. So like you said, it is going to come, whether it's, the JP thing. I'm sure they're going to do something with mechanics.
Yeah.
They've got to tone down some stuff, whether it has to do with the price of certain things, whether it has to do with the speed of certain things, but they'll do it, but it's, we have to protect our mental health when we play games. We just do, because I can't sit down and play a game like Street Fighter 6 for longer than 10 minutes before I'm like, okay, if I don't put it down now, then the rest of my day is shot. So
I feel like offline, like let's say running offline sessions, right? I think you'd be able to hold it longer, even if they was to put a random guy every match, like not every match, but like every set. You put a random guy down, almost like you're playing online, right? I think you'd be able to hold it a little longer because just offline just feels a little, better. Yeah,
100%. I'm with you, 100%.
So yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's coming. The patch is gonna come. It's just one of them things we gotta wait on, man. And in the meantime, you can still want to get better because, man, they might not change something that you think they might change. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? And another thing too. For like the tournament, like for instance, Snake Eyes, somebody like that, let me use him as an example. If he decides he wants to play Geef, let's say season 2, Geef becomes just, man, oh my God, right? He's just already there. So sometimes you got to think about it like that. Some people don't play for the short haul; they play for the long haul. You know what I mean? He might not get the million around this time. What about next year though? Geef gets buffed. You know what I mean? Who knows? And it's like, man, maybe I should have. Somebody's gonna say maybe I should have stuck with my character. If they got buffed. Lily. If she gets buffed, man, because see, look, I agree with you, but the people don't, and she's going to get buffed because people don't believe in her. She's going to get buffed, and she's going to be nasty. And it's about to be like,
if Capcom buffs Lily, they're literally buffing a character because everyone's crying out, she's so boring and she has an anti-air that's super fast that reaches so far behind her head. It probably is a cross up.
Yeah, probably
right from the ground. I don't know. There's no possible way that she gets buffed.
There's no possible way she gets nerfed. She's definitely going to get a buff.
But if she gets buffed, I think that they have to do it through mechanic changes. You cannot change the character.
But
you can't make
I agree with you, but who's using her to prove that? What are they
What
watching?
Problem X? Like he's not doing. Then Kichipa, modern Lily.
That's true. That's true.
It's not that she has low representation, but every game has characters like that. Look at Hakan in Street Fighter 4. Like you had ML Swear, you had Infiltration. Who else was using him? But they said, "Oh, well, hold up, Hakan is the best character in the game." Then why wasn't anyone else using her? I mean, using him like it wasn't happening.
Yeah.
Like that's not. You can't like. This is where Capcom is going to show their true colors because if they buff Lily, first of all, I'm done with the game. Like I'll go into commentary at that point. But what are you doing? The character is literally very, very strong. She has 2 amazing anti-airs. Safe jumps don't work on her.
Nope.
All right. So she has a command grab that is very, very good range. That's good that you can get 2 lights on block and then not move at all, do a command grab, the light version of it, and still be in range to grab someone. What are you doing buffing this character? It's not my fault that Problem X started using her a little bit that like at a lower level than the people like in whatever tournaments he's entering. That's not my fault. Do not make this character any scarier than she already is. Like I promise that will be. I already said I wasn't gonna main Marisa anymore at one point. I'm going to, but this is 100% mark my words. If they buff Lily on the next balance patch in any way outside of mechanics, then I will 100% stop playing this game.
Oh my god. we know it's marked in here, but we don't want to mark that on the growth experiment. We didn't hear that. You know what I'm saying? Because you might, I mean, you never know. She might get buffed, but everybody else might get buffed, so she might stay where she's at.
We'll see. I mean, well, you said stay where she's at, but I think she's over here.
I
Like
think
there's
she's
JP and there's
good,
Lily.
I don't know what you think. No, yeah, I don't know about that. I would say, yeah. I would say, but I do think she's very good. I think it requires the right player. I think that's the issue a lot of times. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think Problem X kind of proved that too because he went to Marisa, and I think it's a somewhat of a similar style, except Lily's buttons are way better, like her normals are. But he's not having success with Marisa either, and I think that's what you got to look at. He's got to play a different style of character, and honestly, I feel like he should be on JP.
He 100% needs to be on JP. Why is he not on JP? I always wonder that.
I don't even.
Not even just because he Bison, like basing the whole Psycho Power thing. Because a lot of Bison players did go to JP, but nah, bro. Just the way that JP plays, please.
And do you remember the Problem X Daigo match where they broke it down and slowed down all the numbers? How Daigo had the ridiculous comeback as Guile against his Bison.
I've seen it. I don't really.
Okay, well, this is something that I'm going to say that I never really thought about until right now. Okay. So many people lose matches like these awesome comeback matches, and you're just kind of like, dang, so-and-so played super well, right? This is probably the first time I saw somebody lose in a ridiculous comeback where Daigo basically, he didn't have a pixel the whole time, but he did not have a lot of room to mess up. And while Problem X had essentially a full health bar. And I'm thinking, even though Problem X got bopped, the whole time I'm thinking, dang, Problem X is playing super well. Yeah. The whole time, I never once thought, dang, Daigo's just super outplaying. Like he did outplay him, he outsmarted him. It was outsmarting. This dude played just super nasty the whole round that he was getting, come back on. And I'm like, what do you do about that? That's how good this guy is. And you put a character with as much tech and as many resources as JP in the hands of somebody like Problem X, I think you have a clear strongest player in the world. Period. He's an Evo champ, and he's nasty, but he's limiting himself because he's playing Lily and Marisa and Blanca. Like, I'm not trying to see that. That's not for you, and he knows.
Yeah, nah, and he started with E That was one of the people he started with.
I don't know what he's doing.
And I remember him saying on the couch. Remember that? I know you remember him talking about it. He said, "Man, I don't care. I don't know what everybody else is doing." He's like, "But I'm about to go in. I'm about to do this. I'm about to do that." I think if he played JP, man, it would be like a whole different change. I don't know obviously I don't know Problem X, so I wonder why. He probably tried him. I can't say I'm not trying him, but I wonder what was the unappeal to JP for him, because
I have no idea.
Me either. And it could be one of those things. He could be one of those guys who doesn't play characters that everybody else plays. It could be like that. It could be something simple like that. He could be like, everybody else playing them. I'm good on it. Because look at the characters he's playing. Marissa, Lily. Like Marissa, she's up there a little bit, but definitely not like JP. Blanca, and E Honda. Three of those characters definitely have low representation. So man, it could be something like that. But who knows? Who knows, man? Who knows what's in his head? Maybe he just don't like JP. But I think that's crazy.
That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't. That's why I'm saying I need to talk to him because I'm like, bro, you need to be playing JP. All these other folks, they just playing JP. You gonna be playing JP. He'd be up there with Kakaru if he was playing 100%. JP. You know what I'm saying?
But that's the thing. Who else is up there with Kakaru with JP right now?
Nobody.
I mean, Bananakin is having moments.
Yeah.
I feel like he's in tune with his character, but whenever it comes down to a straight up skill set, I feel like Problem X would just gel with the character, and 100%. I feel like it would create such a separation there. 100%. And it's not a knock on Bananakin, he's doing work, but I'm just saying when you do something, it's almost like what Giles are looking like Knuckle do over here in the US.
A lot? No.
Because that's him. That's him. You got to go for the character that fits you.
Yeah. Yeah, that would definitely fit him. Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice, it would be nice if like Bison was in the game, but obviously he's not. So it is what it is. So we got some new games coming out soon. Grand Blue Rising is one of them. Are you interested in Grand Blue Rising? I'm kind of interested in it, but I thought about it. I kind of want to. I was thinking, man, do I want to play Grand Blue Rising like that? What I mean by that is like recently, we started getting into Street Fighter 6 a little more. Well, you still been playing it. I started getting into it again a little more. And man, I was talking to my boy Terrence, and I was just kind of like, man, I want to get better. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of hate Grand Blue Rising coming out because I still want to get better at Street Fighter 6, but I am going to get the game. I think Grand Blue is a fun game. It was always fun to me. It kind of sucks that it died when it did. Or died down when it did.
I'm definitely gonna get into Grand Blue. I loved playing Latifa. Mm-hmm. A lot of people forget that I was a grappler player in Street Fighter 4 because I didn't stick with Abigail in Street Fighter 5. I played Nikali and Blanca really. But yeah. I really, really like the design of that character. It's probably Latifa is my third favorite grappler, just out of all the grapplers I've ever played, out of every fighting game I've ever played. I do think the timing is bad. Am I going to get into it like that? Probably. I can see myself doing that only because the game. I need to see what. Let me take that back. I need to see what all they've added to the game. I haven't sat down and looked at it. If it's about where it was before in terms of like it didn't take very long to learn character matchups and stuff. It was like, oh, okay, this is what you can do, this is your whiff punish button. Well, you had easy commands, whatever. Like, okay, if it's still overall as simple as it was before, then yes, I'll get into it. If they started adding a whole bunch of like nuances, small mechanics here and there, then I'm like, I don't want to learn the ins and outs of that. I don't want it to be like a job to learn it, and then I'm not even gonna compete like that because I know I'm not gonna be that good. So, but I do know that the frustrations that I feel playing Grand Blue at a high level, much more tolerable than playing Street Fighter 6.
For sure. And that's another thing too. I really liked Grand Blue. Like I had a couple characters I liked in the game. They got some new characters coming out, this and that. And I do want to try the game. When they announced it, I was like, oh man, Grand Blue Rising. It revived the scene in general, at least for a little while. And I did want to dive into that game. So I'm excited for it to come out. I do want to see what it's talking about. And like you said, it doesn't seem as if it's not as intensive as well, we don't know. But if it's about the same, like you said, then it's definitely more feasible too. Because like, I could play this, kind of like if DNF was still, playing like that.
100%.
It'd be a little side fun game to play, and you can still play it pretty good, even not really practicing like that. Because they did not fun. Now Grand Blue has fundamentals in it for sure, outside of the new mechanics that I don't know about. But when the game first came out, man, please, it's Mechanic City. I mean, Fundamental City. We're punishing all that, and that was just a lot of the game. But now they do have like some drive rush mechanic or something like that. Like they got some stuff in there right now. So who knows? But that game seems like it is gonna be straight. Now, Killer Instinct, man. You can tell me I gotta try Killer Instinct. When does the stuff for that come out? And like I wanna, cause I wanna try it. I haven't tried it yet. I want to try it. When that drops, I know people are gonna be playing like a fool. So I need to learn a little something beforehand because I don't want to go in there trying to. I want to actually like at least know the basics of the game, right? So like I know that was one of your games, man. So like, what you think about the new? Was it like a rollback or like a remake or what was it?
I don't even remember. I don't remember what they were adding to it.
It's almost like a re-release or something like that.
Yeah. I know that they were. It was like a balance patch,
Yeah,
or something that's supposed to be coming out. And I guess the netcode was never bad, so I don't know if they said anything about rollback. I don't remember. They may have, but regardless, I think that's one of those games that's always going to have a ridiculous amount of longevity, just because you don't. The balance, you're not getting a lot off of just what the character can do outside of comboing, if that makes sense. It's like there's neutral, there's the touch, and then it's nothing but mind games from that point on. So it's like you don't. It's really a low maintenance game if you think about it. But you just throw in light, medium, whatever the buttons are, right? Give them some numeric values. All you have to learn is, okay, this is punishable, this is plus, this is stuff I don't need to worry about. And then once he starts, this is what heavy looks like, this is what medium looks like, this is what light looks like. I can react to heavy, and it's literally like that with every single character. Learning the matchup is really learning what the animations look like. And it just takes on a completely different approach to fighting games, because it's like the defense starts when you get hit.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, let me just block it out. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, you block it out. But when you get hit, it's like, I have a chance to get out of this. I can completely reset neutral, change the whole thing around, whatever. And then the other person's like, I can keep my offense going if I think you're going to try to guess what I'm about to do.
Yeah.
So that was one of those games that I don't think I ever really got frustrated when I lost. I don't think I did it. It was hard to. It was
fun. Yeah. Cool. Speaking of, I got to go back for a second, man, because you said something earlier. I meant to comment on it. It just came in my head. We talked about like Street Fighter 6 and the players coming up, the players who's able to kind of level out with the people who know been good for a long time. I was teaching my little brother the other day, and he was like, he's like, man, I got to get better at this and that. I went straight to showing this man. So I showed him some fundamental stuff. You got to get better at anti-air and things like that. But I showed he's playing Rashid, and I said, check this out, man. I was showing him how to throw loop and shimmy, right? And he's like, man, he started laughing because he thought it was so crazy how you could just throw every time. It's frame perfect, dash, dash. And I said, sometimes you want to dash and start walking back a little bit, and then when they throw, you hit him. He's like, man, he thought it was really cool. And I told him, I said, listen, I don't care who it is. On the other end of the screen, sitting next to you, sitting across from you, if we had the TVs combined, it doesn't matter. They gotta deal with it. You know what I'm saying? I said, it doesn't matter who they are. I said, you need to learn, something this part of your game. Because they don't matter who that person is. They gotta deal with the situation. And I was like, he's just like, dang, that's cool. And I was thinking that, like, the Street Fighter 6, that's the name of the game. They got a lot of situations. Man, no matter who you are, you're going to have to deal with this right here. When I played against Punk, I didn't really do anything versus him, right? I didn't have any dolls. Hold on. I didn't have any doll setups like that. But as soon as I went like that with my doll, no matter who he is, he could have been Skunk. It doesn't matter. He got to deal with this. You feel what I'm saying? I feel like that was definitely at the time, one of my things I definitely didn't have in my belt. But if I had something like that, like if I had some nasty just doll setups, because I got him to the positions that I needed to get him to most of the times. But if I had some dolls, he would have just been like, dang, he got to deal with this. There's nothing he can do. And I think that's one of the name of this game is there's a lot of things in this game that it's like, I got to deal with this. Even though I'm better. And I think the frustration comes from that. I just want to say that. I had to say that. I thought about that. But back to KI. I gotta get into KI. At some point, especially when they do the patch, I am gonna try it 100%. But I do want to try it before that because, like I said, I don't want to, you know. Yeah, and I'm gonna end this podcast on Project L. We ain't heard about Project L, man. What's going on, Project L? Please, I see these nasty combos that these people doing at Evo. Don't let me try a beta at Evo. How long has it been since Evo?
That was first week in August, September, October, November, and we're in first week of December. So about 4 months.
Y'all gonna let me go 4 months without a beta? Or like
let's change the quarter of a year. Quarter of a year
without a beta? Are you serious? Come on, man. Like, y'all gonna let me play that? I only played once, y'all. I only played once. There's no way I wasn't gonna at least, and I didn't want to because I hate that. Where it's like, I'm gonna go up here and play. I don't really know what I'm doing, and I know it's gonna be amazing. So I'm gonna be like, But I had to. I did what I did. Me and my boy, we played 2v2s. Man, you're talking about like leaving you wanting more because it was just so. He gets to control when he pulls out his assist. You know how crazy that sounds? Off a surface level, how can you get bored of that? Right? Because you really got to be communicating. So they're like, okay, we got Valorant, we got League. What's big in both of those games? Communication, right? And they said we're gonna keep that. What was the word? Premise?
That aspect.
Or our aspect? Yeah, we're gonna keep that the same. And it's like, man, we had to communicate. I was like, all right, I'll be doing this. We learned, like, we dropped it, but we learned that this little sequence. I just tried my assist and I saw, okay, Darius has a little pull in. So when he started doing his combo, I tried to call my assist at the right time.
Nice.
Yeah, did it, but I missed it. I was like, And they both were like, dang, all right, cool, but we got something. So we tried to do it again. Go ahead.
Riot is genius. Because now, all of a sudden, we're so used to fighting games being 1v1.
It's going to be so good.
Let me ask you this. Can you imagine going to a tournament where there are 2 chairs over on this side, of one monitor in the middle, and 2 chairs over here, both people sitting down? Legit 2v2. Have we ever seen that? Saying like 2v2 in the sense where, I mean, I guess Smash kind of...
No. Cross Tekken.
You're right.
Cross Tekken, yep.
But it's still not the same.
It's not gonna be the same. Not gonna be the same.
Because like you always had to just switch. This is literally this is cool. This is really cool. This is gonna be.
Well, I'm gonna be telling you okay. All I have to do is fight Cross Tekken is pretty much tell you when you're about to come in, right? Because I control that, right? Bruh, you get to call your own assists. Like that, it just sounds wild to me. When a dude told us that, he's like, all right, yeah, he controls his own. I'm like, what? Controls on assist, which means he has to time it in my combo. You know how weird that is?
No, it's a knowledge check, and you get rewarded for. See, that's what people play games like this for. I don't want to say that's what they play it for, but that's what they look for. I want to feel like the more I study a game, and I think that this kind of addresses what IDOM complains about a lot. The more I study a game, the more I should be rewarded for it. If I'm sitting here and I'm like, man, I know I got this assist and so is doing such and such, I should be able to do this at this time and this should work. And then some people might look at it like, man, I've never seen that before. That's nasty. Yeah, I have to even think of it. But it's like, it's one of those things that really, really encourages creativity, and I love that because even you're talking about you tried to time it and you missed it, right?
Yeah.
Screw that. You can do that crap on block. You can
do it on block. Yeah.
The press is about to end. I got you. Don't worry about it. But I did something. You did something like punishable, or hey, I'm about to do something punishable. I need your help. You come out there, block stun. It doesn't even matter who it is. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It's like block stun. Oh, thanks, man. You just bailed me out. You time it. You can get consistent timing, like it's a frame trap, counter hit. Oh, look, I can only do this on counter hit. It's like whenever you're able to study a game that much, it makes you want to play that much. The reason Street Fighter V does not have that is because what we are losing to in Street Fighter 6 at a high level is, well, I just didn't react to the nonsense that I could not predict because everything's nonsense at this point.
Yeah.
Versus something like that. I'll take something like that any day. Any day.
And we was doing that too. Like Darius had a shoulder, and he do something. I get it on block. This is so nasty, man. He continues pressure. I'm like, this is crazy. You
And
know.
I didn't play it, but hearing that, I wish I had.
And then once I think, let me think. Hold on. Yes. Once I use my assist, right, he can swap me in.
Okay, so
You see how
MVP
lopsided that is? Like, it's like I use my assist, but he can say, you're the
You stay
person,
out
you're the
here
person now. You know what I'm saying? God, that was so crazy. Because he did like an air combo. He's like, you're in. I'm just like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what to do. So it's so crazy. It was crazy, man. It was crazy. It's kind of, actually, when you think about it, it is kind of better in that moment when you don't know what you're doing. Because just hearing about like the crazy stuff, it's just like, what? It was awesome, man. It was awesome.
And I'm trying not to be excited for that game because I keep telling myself I won't play it. The only reason I will play it is because it's free.
Yeah, well, you gotta play it, man. I gotta be able to hit you up. Hey, Eric, come on, look at these 2v2, bro. Come on. You know, like, come on, bro, come on. I'm like, look at these 2v2.
Now, this is something we haven't talked about much on the growth experiment. It's probably pretty obvious, but I'm older than him. I'm getting to the point now where all I can do is play RPGs. And he's still talking about, hey, I'll need to hit you up for some 2v2.
2v2s, I can't. I'll be like, hey, you know how you always be like, you trying to play? Are you playing anything? I say, oh yeah. You say, what you want to play? It's like Project L 2v2s, bro. We finna be going in on that.
Well, I feel like I already have more fun with Project L 2v2s than Smash, so I'll take it.
Well, yeah, that game, man. Dang, I want to see something else for that game. I really, if they do, but see, if they put a beta out, man, even if it's just like a soft beta, they put those same characters out. I'm not saying I'm not playing Street Fighter 6, but you ain't gonna be seeing me playing it for a few days at least. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get it. I'm gonna be playing it because it just looks, and I want to get like the movement. I didn't really get to the wave dashing. I was on controller, so I'm not super good at wave dashing on there, but I was able to, just do it, dash down, and it was smooth, man. It was like, oh my god, what y'all doing? Bringing this beta over here, and then you get to watch these players. They did it smart too. It's okay. All the new guys, you come over here to this. We're gonna have these pros already know what they're doing, already have some nasty stuff, and we're gonna have a panel over here that you can watch, right? And it was just, and then maybe you could watch it, maybe you get in line, maybe you see if you could do it. You know what I'm saying? God, it was so nasty, and it was cool. It was cool to see, man. And I know I hate to be those pros for real though, because the taste that they got, oh God, I was like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? And you got people like Apology Man working on it, people like Sonic Fox working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
And
god.
the Clockwork.
Clockwork. I mean, I don't know how to mention him first. Clockwork working on it. What are we talking about? Clockwork is like one of the Marvel guys. You know what I'm saying? When NBCI, we hadn't seen this guy forever. NBCI comes out, you see a stream. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, what? And then, NBCI dies. Where's he at? Gone. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just kind of like, he's just that dude when it comes to that. And the fact that he's working on it and like sticking with it, stuff like that, means that he likes it. And I know it's going to be just ridiculous. Yeah. So he had that long beard. He been in the cave waiting for the next Marvel. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be cool, man. But they did that right. They're going to do the game right. I believe in them, man, especially for this. And like you said, the 2v2 thing. Now, what they're going to have to do, though, Eric, see, think about it like this. It's going to be a lot of communicating going on. There's no way it's going to be like side by side. I can't see 4 guys sitting side by side because it's going to be a lot of talking. You know what I'm saying? I think at some point, like the Riot specific stuff, I think they're going to have headsets and it's going to be separated. That's what I think.
Yeah. I mean, I can see that, but that's the thing. They're bringing something so new to the picture because they're coming in already esports, and even though Capcom has Capcom Cup, and now you're in the millions for the Pro Tour, like this company is about to release another free game that's probably going to support itself like crazy because not only are fighting game players, which is the vast minority of any genre out there for the most part, I would say, I would probably, I'm trying to think of a genre that doesn't get as much. I think RTS gets more than fighting games. Yeah, so I think it's literally the smallest, and then you're taking this group saying, you know what? We're going to pull all them in, and then we're going to pull all the League fans in, and then we're going to have newcomers. Let's just drop a battle pass for $4, like for a month or something, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, they're banking off of this. Now it's taking them years. It's
Yeah,
taking
yeah.
them resources. How they're gonna make all
Like
of
a
that back? They're
fool.
not only that, they're probably gonna be like, man, we went to some of these offline events before COVID happened, just so we could get a feel of the FGC. We can have our own little season over here, season over here. East Coast has this stuff, and like they're about to take over, and they know it too. That's
Yeah,
why they're
yeah,
not
they
in a
know it. They
rush.
know it.
They
Yeah,
already know. They're like, we're gonna drop this game. Everyone's gonna love it. Everyone's gonna love it. And even if they don't, it's free. We're not losing anything from you not buying our game.
yeah.
Then you're gonna have that one person who's like, I have to get every skin with every single person.
Yep.
You know, like
That was me.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, you're gonna have those characters that you're just you favor, you love them. It's like I
Yeah.
gotta do it.
Gotta
Oh, this
do
one's
it.
coming out. It's kind of ugly, but I gotta get it. I gotta have 100% of them. They are geniuses, and they have the money to back it from the start. And I feel like we haven't seen that in the FGC at all. So on top of already getting to see some stuff from like Clockwork, Apology Man, like the names you were mentioning, it's like we that's just literally everything that we have to look forward to. That is the bright spot in our future because there's nothing else for Riot to do. They've proven themselves on every single stage. What have they released that was bad other than the Misfortune story on Switch?
Nothing for real. The only closest thing, and it wasn't bad, Legends of Runeterra. We talk about success. But that's it. I mean, but it's still good. You still got a lot of players. Still got that money making. I mean, it's especially like the show that they released. I mean, what are we doing? I mean, it's just too good. People keep telling me you gotta watch. I'm like, oh, I'll get to it. You know, all right, cool. Man, when I saw that thing, I said, what was I doing this whole time? Boy, this thing too good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Please, I almost wish I didn't watch it. It was so freaking good. And it was just like, wow. You know what I mean? Like, what are y'all, like, you guys, but you look at the animations that they create just before, like, pretty much every Worlds or every season. It's every season. They create, like, a new animation, right? You could look at that and tell, man, they could definitely make a show. You know what I'm saying? Like, but the story of it was so good. Where they started it, the two characters that they chose to start it with, super just, oh my God. And
Yeah, the development was perfect.
Oh my
Spot on with
God.
everyone. The characters we knew, the new characters, they just managed to make it feel like you really went somewhere to watch a production by a seasoned production company that was
Yeah.
like, we're doing this to entertain our audience.
Yep.
Nailed it. They nailed it. What have we sat down and watched that was a whole season from Riot before Arcane? Other than nothing.
Nothing.
That's their first shot, and they nailed it.
Yeah.
So we have no reason to think that they're not about to drop a game in confidence because we've heard about Project L for who knows how long. Still haven't gotten to really play it. They know exactly what they're doing, and they're like, now League supporting itself, Project L supporting itself. We have billions of dollars coming in yearly.
Yeah.
We're good.
We're good. I know the people, so Project L, they, Riot is smart, man. Like, they're like, man, we're a MOBA company. We started with our MOBA and stuff like that. Let's bring on these guys who know what they're talking about. What my thing is this, like, you got the Tony and Tom, that's their name, Tony and Tom brothers, the Cannon brothers. So they like already was playing fighting games and stuff like that, right? So that's cool. And one of the first people they think about, I don't know, like if it's first person, one of the people they think about, man, let's see if Clockwork, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Because they just know who they need to bring on there. Okay, Apology Man, he'll be able to get nasty, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's hit him up. You know, he better.
It's kind of crazy to think about. They're like, let's write down this list of people,
Yeah.
competitors who know they're good. It's not going to take them long to figure stuff out. Get them on. Hey, show me what my game can do, please.
Yeah. Basically, they literally hire you. All right, we gonna make something. Here you go. What you got? And then he comes. All right, so you can do this. God dang, you can do all that. I didn't even realize you could do all that. What we put in the game. That's so cool. That's so cool, man. That's just cool. I remember the first week. Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Yeah.
Apology Man is like the first or second week. He was freaking out this crazy stuff with Piccolo, and it's just people were just like, "What?" No, we thought Piccolo sucked. You know what I mean? He don't suck. You just gotta. But that's another thing too, man. When it comes to these games, when it comes to a game like Dragon Ball FighterZ, more freeform than like Street Fighter, man, you really get to see a lot. Which is why I hope they don't nerf a lot of Street Fighter 6. Like JP is one of those characters. I think the problem with the game is like people are like, man, this is Street Fighter. This isn't no Marvel or none of this anime stuff. So why is this character doing all this? But I think that stuff's so cool when you can really, now, like you said, it's creativity and you really get to show who you are in your character. Please keep that in the next patch. Like, don't make this crap super bland. Don't do that. You know, as much as we want to slow it down, nah, bro. If they sped it up, they just gonna speed it up to me. It's like I do want to keep that, you know. But yeah, man. So we got to keep these podcasts going, bro. You know, it ain't you, it's me. I gotta get on it. So we gonna get it in. I appreciate y'all tuning in to the Growth Experiment as always. I'm gonna have some topics next time because there's a lot that's going on, man. It really is. And it's a lot going on in just regular life as much as the gaming life. You know, we ain't talk about how Faker took another Worlds. You know, if he got rings, he looking like Mike. You know what I'm saying? We know it's just ridiculous. You know, he's just winning everything. He's still there. We ain't get into stuff like that. There's more than that. You know, but we're gonna get into that, y'all, on the next Growth Experiment. I appreciate y'all tuning in once again. This is the Growth Experiment podcast with your host Mom92
and Stash.
Peace.